Okay, hello everyone, hello. Woo! My name is Anna Hammonds, I'm with Unite Ellis. I cannot tell you how excited we are about today. We look forward to this day because there's so many amazing people in the room. Like literally, if I had hours to talk to every one of you, like we just know that there's goodness in this room. So thank y'all for coming. I forgot to look it up. Chris, you might remember, but this is like our 6th county convene, is that right? Started 4 years ago? Okay, we're gonna go with those numbers. We used to do county convene twice a year. This year we've done it once this fall because Thrive Leadership Conference took its place this past spring. Did anybody go to that? Woo! Okay, we'll talk more about that. But if you do not know what Unite Ellis is, or you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing here right now, and I know there's some of you. Unite Ellis is a network of networks. We divided out the county to have networks geographically, by content area, and by sector. So for example, we divided the county into 10 geographic regions so we can have networks in each of those regions to work on the specific things in those cities, things that'll help the community, help their neighbors, making sure that people are thriving and flourishing. We then have content and content areas, which is pretty much these tables around the room. So at any point, if someone's like, hey, we have a conversation we need to have around food insecurity, we know immediately who we're deploying to bring that network into the table. We then have sector areas, government, education, business, nonprofit, and faith. And we help convene, we help collaborate, we help bring those teams together, but also to deploy that network throughout the community depending on what we're doing, sometimes responding to a need, sometimes just having fun and doing cool things. Whatever it is, you can deploy that network at any point. Okay, so y'all at least have a high level of what you're doing here, yes? Okay, it's gonna get better. So this last summer, Chris and I both turned 40. No, we don't have the same birthday. No, we're not twins. Yes, I am older. But I have been thinking a lot recently about generations, age gaps, and how the fact that I am not 20 anymore. You spend 5 minutes with a bunch of middle schoolers. Anyone know? I don't know if y'all saw the video online Chris and Caitlin made with my daughter where she was teaching, is it Gen Z language? Gen Alpha, sorry. Gen Alpha language. You get with a pack of middle schoolers. For one, it is a pack. But two, real quick, you'll hear Skibbity Riz, Ohio, spill the tea, they slay, he eats, and he's got cake. That one's not as appropriate. But very quickly, you'll be questioning your age. Like this is like it's a whole language. This morning, we were talking about certain generations might still use the word paraphernalia. I go drug use, you go merch. So it's different. The fact that I'm wearing shoulder pads right now in my shirt, it's a generational thing. Like when did these come back? Is it pantyhose next? I don't know. So there's different. There was some passion right there. Did y'all hear that? So then also I had a very true realization a couple of weeks ago that I also am in a different age bubble when I fell down in the shower, like all the way down. And really more so, anybody know, like as an adult, when you fall down, like immediately I was like, how did I get here? Like I'm on the ground right now. Like how did I get here? Have y'all had that where you're more in shock that you fell down more so than, that you fell down? Like it was so, and then the fact that y'all, I was in the shower, like going down butt naked. Like I'm sorry, but I have not felt that unattractive in a very long time. So at this point, I'm like, now I'm in the new age gap. Like, do I need a life alert? Do we need to have like the pull string in the shower where I like alert my husband and like, I'm down again, it's a whole thing. So that's been what I've been processing all of this recently. My husband and I, like all of a sudden it shows up like this strong desire to notice the birds. Like, did you check that cardinal out? Like, did you see that cardinal, babe? Like, was that a hawk? No, I think wait, I mean, why are we bird watching now? I don't know. So, having said all this, there are times that I don't understand the other generations, and they don't understand me. And if I stayed in a silo, I would continue not to understand them, right? So when we come together, when we merge ages and generations, you're merging historical context, you're merging life experiences, you're merging backgrounds, viewpoints. And then on top of that, we merge geographies, sectors, content areas, and passions that people have. Your passion may be a little different than my passion. If we stay in our silos, we don't have that, right? That's what we're here to do today. We're here to laugh about falling in the shower, but then coming together and linking arms and saying, like, what are we gonna do together? We're gonna check those badges at the door, and together we're gonna help people in our community, right? And we're all bringing different skill sets to the table. Can anyone be impressed that I just tied all those stories together? I mean, come on. As I'm prepping, I'm like, falling in the shower, bird watching, it's a whole thing. Okay, so we're gonna do our roll call. I wanna know what you identify with, not a political statement, what you identify with geographically. So we're gonna start out with Waxahachie. If you would call yourself representing Waxahachie, let's hear it. Scream it out. Okay, did you notice the Waxahachie green today? Okay, sorry, everyone else. Red Oak, let's hear you. Ennis. Okay. Midlothian. Maypearl. Way to go. Steve, you're clapping, that's good. You gotta give it a rawr, okay. Ferris. Okay, I heard a yes, Ferris. Palmer? You're holding up the whole group. We'll put Avalon, Italy, and Milford together. Yeah, that's good. That was good, Sean. Okay, and then how about anybody that's representing maybe the entire county? There you go. That's awesome. We're so glad y'all are here. Our hope today is that you leave knowing someone new. You've connected with someone. You might see mission lines or purposes or geographies or whatever it is merge, and that you connect and you find someone you can link arms with. The other idea is that I'm really hoping that you leave re-energized, renewed, new vision, or maybe enhancing a vision of what we're doing in our community, whatever that means for you, okay? All right, so we're gonna go to the hygiene drive. If y'all will remember why are we already laughing? Okay, I thought Angela was gonna bring that up, but I'm glad Chris brought that up. I'm so sorry. Last year, last fall, if you will notice, we had a very, very impressive belt for our food drive. We had a food drive, a competition. This year we had a hygiene drive. Bobby, where did you go? I'm gonna pin it on you. Will you run? Oh, never mind. You just got out of this. I got an official would-be judge to judge. Okay, so we had an official judge. We're now going to award the group. So we had the hygiene drive out there, and we're awarding the new group for the next year of who won in the hygiene drive. These hygiene products are going out to multiple nonprofits in the area, as well as our pantries, for our mini pantries in the schools. So do you want to? I really don't want to be in the middle of this. So okay.
All right, drum roll, please. And the winner of the 2025 Hygiene Help Challenge is the mental health team. picture, send it to me, chris@uniteellis.org. Appreciate it. Awesome. Mental health team, you guys may have a seat. And as the winners, they will issue the next challenge for next county convene. All right. We do not do participation trophies. We are not, we like winners. All right. So I am Chris Aguilar, a county champion of Unite Ellis. Yep, that's me. I was listening to Anna about getting older. I often call her grandma, even though she's only 2 months older than me. I'm not quite at the pantyhose phase yet, but we'll see. After today, we'll figure that out. But I have the distinct honor of kind of organizing today's events. We'll be doing a lot of different stuff. I told Brent, at the end of today, you will either respect me more or respect me less, but you will not leave here unchanged. So that's my promise to you. So today, we're going to be talking about be true to you. Be true to you, because guess what? You guys are already the best. You guys need to understand that at the end of today, you guys can leave here knowing you don't have to be somebody else. You don't have to fit somebody else's expectations. You don't have to be in somebody else's box. You are already a masterpiece. So, but sometimes it's kind of fun just to play around. So I'm gonna ask you guys an opening question. You guys like questions? Opening question, and just discuss this question with somebody that's close to you. Just 2 or 3, no more than 3, and here's your question. If you could switch places with anyone in the world, past or present, who would it be and why? I'm just gonna give you guys a couple of minutes, talk with the people that are next to you, no more than 3, but ask each other the question, who would you switch places with? Who would you switch places with? I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. If there's nobody near you, go find somebody near you. Just a couple of minutes. All right, if I can get everybody's attention back here. If I can get everybody's attention, time to close up conversations. I'm gonna get some answers for y'all. Who wants to, if you feel comfortable with answering publicly, if you could switch places with anybody, who would it be and why? Say it real loud. Bill Gates. Who would like lots of money and still help people? I think everybody in this room is like, hallelujah, yeah. That's the dream. All right, over here, who are we going to switch places with? Ford or Edison? Edison had a lot of failure. Love it. Love it. James. Any of the disciples. Which one kind of resonates with you the most? Peter. Do you like to cut off people's ears? Do I need to? All right. Come on, Sharon.
Don't repeat this part to my husband. Oprah, she's not married. And
This is live, just FYI.
she's not married. She does a lot of good for people. She is rich. She had a talk show. People reveal themselves to her, and she is rich. And she does a lot of things for people.
Well, you get $1 million, and you get $1 million, and you get $1 million. We'll do the Oprah thing. Anybody else? We have time for one more. Anybody else want to switch? Mother Teresa's also not married. So we have a theme going on here? Or? Okay, I'm just checking. So the reality is it's fun to think about who you might want to switch places with. My personal answer, and this is going to sound a little weird, Gordon Ramsay. Because then I can say whatever I want and people will still love me. And he's a phenomenal chef. I have it on my real bucket list item is to cook for Gordon Ramsay one day just so that he can spit out my food and call me a donut. That is a bucket list item of mine. So we have, I've thought about this on Real Talk. I thought about this question a lot recently. And so I was just like, who would I, in Ellis County, because there's the people, you peeps are the ones I know, who would I want to switch places with? And I thought to myself, I might want to switch places with Anna. So I brought some Anna accessories with me today to help me. Are you guys good with this? So you guys know you can't have Anna without the Anna glasses. So had to match. She's always like matching something on her. And then I thought to myself, what encapsulates Anna? And I had to go with the hat. So but I'm not done, because Anna, there's a lot of things that encapsulate Anna. I couldn't go with the Nikes. I felt like it would be a betrayal to self. But Converse are owned by Nikes, so that kind of is the same thing. I don't like to usually admit that, but it's fine for today. But the other thing that you'll always find Anna with is like a big 40-ouncer. In fact, you might find her with 2 or 3 of these, and I'm not sure all of those are water, if you know what I mean. She is opening up a brewery after all. But I can wear the glasses, I can put on the hat, I can drink the 40-ounce, I can wear the kicks, but I'm not gonna be fooling anybody. I'm a big dude with a beard that's just kind of like a teddy bear. Nobody's going to say, oh, that's Anna over there. So I can do whatever I want, but the reality is I have to be uniquely me. I have to be who God created me to be. And God did not make me a super flashy person on the outside, but if you know me personally, you'll know my personality can be as flashy as the rest of them. Especially since a lot of my interests are very curious. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, about who I am, about who you are, about the cycle of comparison and how to break that cycle so that you can be everything that you were created to be and do everything in the county that you were created to do. So I have a few quotes with me. First one is from Oscar Wilde. He says, be yourself, everyone else is already taken. Anna's taken, I don't need to be Anna. Gordon Ramsay's taken, I don't need to be Gordon Ramsay. All right, my favorite quote since high school. This was actually, I markered it with Sharpie on my backpack. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, imitation is suicide. Imitation is suicide. All right, it's literally killing the uniqueness that you have. All right, and then the Apostle Paul, I think, puts it best when he says, we are God's masterpiece. And a masterpiece doesn't need to try to impress anybody. It just is what it is. And even if you've seen masterpieces, let's say the Mona Lisa is actually not perfect. It's actually some of the imperfections that make it perfect. It makes it unique. It makes it distinct. And you are all distinct, created with purpose, created for good works, created with your unique personality and skills and culture and history, and all comes together. There's only one Kevin. There's only ever going to be one Kevin. That's a good thing. We don't need a dozen weather people in Ellis County. We can all just go to Kevin and see what is happening in our area. That's a good thing. So we also have, give me a second. We also have something, when it comes to our uniqueness, the reality is we have a question to ask ourselves all the time. Because most of the time we're searching for who is the real me? Who is the real me? In fact, that's why we have such identity crisis in our culture today, because everybody is searching for the answer to that question, who am I? Who am I? So let me tell you a little bit more about me. You guys know I like wearing Converse, have since high school. I wear my hats. In fact, if I'm ever meeting someone for the first time, they're like, how do I know like it's you at the coffee shop? I'm just like, just look for the hat. Sometimes I even if it's hot, I'll wear the hat just so that I'm meeting somebody new and they can recognize it. But let me tell you a few other things about me. Anna likes to tease me about LARPing. Anybody know what LARPing is? Yeah, we have a couple of nerds in the room. So LARP stands for live action role play. And no, I don't do live action role play. Basically, it's a bunch of people that dress up in medieval armor and clank swords against each other in this big open field. And because I'm a little nerdy, Anna associates nerds with LARPing, apparently. And she's just like, you must be a LARPer. She just has this image of me going out in the field, dressing up in medieval armor and clanking swords with other people that are interested in that sort of thing. Well, I'd much prefer sitting on the couch and watching a movie with my family while our two dogs, Dashi and Miso, sit on our laps. They're almost 1 year old. They are wonderful. They're crackheads, but they're wonderful. Because they are Labrador and Australian Shepherds, so you can imagine the kind of crazy that's in our house. But it's interesting because even though LARPing's not my jam, it doesn't mean it's not somebody else's. All right, who likes watching sports in the room? Anybody like watching sports? All right, we have some more sports enthusiasts than we do LARPers. So I kind of figured in Ellis County that's how it would be. But the reality in our family, like, I keep up with all the sports scores. I know that Houston Astros are on the way to sweeping the Rangers. Sorry about that, people, but... So I keep up with the scores, but the reality is I don't think I've seen an actual sports game for years. And part of it is because I'm a writer. I like to write. I like to cook. When I say I cook, I experiment. So I turn my kitchen into a science lab. I get out every single spice, I get every single vinegar, every single oil, and I'm just like, okay, what can I concoct today? One time, I made something so horrific, my wife took one bite and said, let's order pizza. If Gordon Ramsay was around, she would have called me the donut. But the reality is, I love cooking. And I've been doing it for so long. Iron Chef America taught me how to cook. If you know about Iron Chef on the Food Network, you would know how awesome that show is. I learned everything about cooking from Iron Chef America. In fact, my son said one time, he's just like, I want you to cook an Iron Chef meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he challenged me. And I'm very competitive, super competitive. So when I get a challenge, I'm just like, I have to do it. So I made waffles, and I took those waffles and I like constructed this like castle out of the waffles, because you got to have good presentation. And I think it was like pumpkin pecan waffles, because you got to have good flavor. All right, and then like all throughout the day, I was just like, how do I infuse flavors? How do I, build that presentation? And I get most people is just like, hey, I just eat as a means to an end. But I eat as a means of like, this is my creative outlet. In fact, and I get that that's not everybody's jam. You wanna know what is my jam? Space. Because Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Just saying. He's the GOAT, always will be, love Space Jam. But the funny thing is, when Space Jam came out, I wasn't watching sports. I just loved Space Jam. For that movie alone, compare that to LeBron's Space Jam, there's no competition. I'm sorry, people. The competition's over right there on which Space Jam movie is better. So that's a little bit about who I am. So who are you? What do you like to do? What do you fill your time with? I got to Texas as soon as I could back in 2005. It was August of 2005. And I learned very quickly it was the best country in the world. Everybody agree? Texas, best country in the world. But I don't own a cowboy hat. I don't own cowboy boots. I don't listen to country music. Sorry, country music enthusiasts. And I've never been hunting. I am a metalhead from Southern California. Any metalheads in the room? Awesome, I got one. See, in Southern California, they're everywhere. It's just like, yeah, let's go like bang our heads and have a good time and beat each other up in a mosh pit and have, yeah. You know, the funny thing is in our family, I fall asleep the best when I'm listening to screamo music. Very quick side note, I was on a kids outreach and there was a girls team and a boys team and I was leading the guys and we were staying in a dorm together and there was 4 of us guys. One of them was from Canada and 3 of us were used to working together and the Canadian was not used to working with us. So the 3 of us, it was like 10 o'clock at night and we're like, hey, we're gonna put on some death metal to go to bed because it helps us sleep. How do you feel about that? And it's okay, it's Christian death metal, so that's good. There's screaming about Jesus. So he was just like, I don't know how I feel about it. I was like, I'll tell you what, we'll put on the music, and if you're bothered by it, we'll turn it off. It's cool. So we put it on, and he was out like a light. And he woke up in the morning. I was like, how'd you sleep? He's like, that was the best sleep I've ever had in my life. And then I was just like, hey, that's the way Americans do it, you know? Yeah, we're just better, you know? So, who are you? Who are you? I'd imagine most of you in the room represent business, church, education, government, or nonprofit. More specifically, you hold a title at an organization that falls into one of these sectors. But that title does not define you. It's what you do, it's not who you are. Some of us have been blessed to find a mixture of vocation and purpose, and that's amazing. That's like the sweet spot. Others of us are grinding at a job that is draining us, while still others in this room are full-time volunteers with very little reward, and you're not getting paid for what you do, but you have purpose and you love doing it. No matter where you find yourself, there's a reason to be content, and here's why. Again, you're unique. There's no one like you. And as Liam Neeson would say, you have a very particular set of skills and Ellis County will benefit from. So don't fall into the trap of what I call comparison, spelled at the end S-I-N. Don't fall into the trap of comparison. The S stands for shame. That's where a lot of comparison starts. We take a look at our present circumstance. You know, we might be grinding at a job. We might be losing at work or losing at home or losing at both. And it fills us with this sense of shame. And that when we feel ashamed of our present circumstance, that's when we begin to look elsewhere. That's when we start to compare ourselves to other people, where the grass always looks greener on the other side. If you go to my house, my grass is a mixture of green and Texas brown. It's a very specific brown. It's that brown where the sun just hits it right where the sprinkler doesn't. But the reality is there's areas of our life where the sprinkler is not hitting. That may be a little bit dead. You might feel a little bit drained. You might feel a little bit depleted. But that's all part of your journey. Don't negate those things in your life just because they might be negative. They're a part of your journey. It's all wrapped up in the package of who you are. I come from a very dysfunctional past, but I don't feel bad about the past that I grew up in. It's all part of the package that makes me who I am. Some of you have a dysfunctional past as well. Some of you have an amazing past. Some of you had amazing parents and you were loved and cared for, and that's awesome. And that's all part of the package that makes you you. Don't ever feel ashamed for who you are. And don't let anybody make you feel ashamed for who you are. The I in comparison stands for imitation. When we feel ashamed for who we are, we start to gravitate to the person who has more influence than us. We see this a lot with social media. Social media is a breeding ground for comparison, where it's always keeping up with the Joneses. I don't know if anybody ever on Instagram, there's a very specific look that Instagram has. If you are a 20-something female that just like, hey, you'll succeed on Instagram, 100%. And some of those other people that are just like, might be a little bit out of the box, might not be succeeding as much. But honestly, if all we're doing is trying to get views and likes anyway, And it's not a good, healthy way to be living. Social media amplifies those things that we want people to see, but not necessarily the true version of who we are. You know, I do a lot of work for a couple of decades now with Gen Z specifically. That's where a lot of our ministry has taken us. And so we hang out with a lot of them. We do a lot of studies into Gen Z. And one of the things that they're most drawn to is authenticity. You can think that all the bells and the whistles are going to draw people. And they might show up for that one thing or that second thing. But if you want to draw people and get truly engaged, the more authentic you are, the more authentic your organization is, the more people will be engaged, I promise you. I have a novel releasing in January. This is an area that I don't tell a lot of people about, just because I don't like to switch my hats. If I'm with Unite Ellis, I usually talk about Unite Ellis things, or if I'm at church, I talk about church things or whatever. But I've been on this journey of writing for a few years now, and I'm releasing a new book in January. And I thought to myself, I had to be this specific thing in order to do something. And I realized, as long as I was trying to be somebody else, like, I wasn't being successful at all. And then I had a friend tell me that there's an audience for everybody, and I truly believe that. If you look on YouTube, I promise you, there is an audience for everything. All right, if you're into like a specific niche thing, like how to change mufflers on a Ferrari, there's entire channels dedicated to just how to change mufflers on Ferraris. Like literally, there's an audience for everything, so you don't have to try to be something that you're not to try to fit in. All right, we always think that there's a formula, A plus B equals C. And there's best practices for sure. We want to be professional. But more than that, you got to be authentic. And if you really want to get engaged young people, the more authentic you are, the more you're going to reach them. You're going to reach their heart. And when a person's heart is reached, that's when you can really gain some traction. The N in comparison stands for narcissism. When we're ashamed of who we are and we start imitating somebody that we're not, then we become incredibly self-centered in our journey of discovery. Then it becomes, how do I become something? How do I please somebody? How do I fashion this image of myself that I've erected in my head that I perceive is the thing that I need to attain? And I'm telling you guys, in this room, there's some of you I know, some of you I don't know. And I can't wait to meet all of you. But the ones I have met, I'm telling you, you guys are awesome. You guys do not have to try to fit the box, fit the mold. So how do we break the cycle? It's the simplest and hardest thing to break the cycle. It requires taking off our mask and breaking it. I told you I'm from California. When I first came to Texas, I hid who I was and what I liked. It kind of felt like Texans I met grew up fishing, shooting deer, chewing tobacco, going to football games, and working on trucks. That was kind of the people that I met in Texas. Is that a pretty accurate portrayal? Well, I didn't catch my first fish until a couple of years ago. I have it on my bucket list to shoot a deer, but only so I can learn new recipes, honestly. And I'm super talkative, so I imagine that's probably not good for hunting. So that's what I've been told. I'd probably be like, be quiet. And when it comes to vehicles, honestly, I have an easier time reading a book in Arabic, honestly. I look under the hood, I'm just like, it's spaghetti to me. That's why I'm just like, I'm so happy for the people that know how to do that stuff. That's awesome. I love the engineers and the plumbers and the electricians who know how to do all those things. So I'm like, that's how God made your mind to work. God did not make my mind like that. I hid the fact that my family and I are all artists when I came to Texas. And this is my big confession today. I actually enjoy musicals. I think I lost my respect with Brent on that one. And deep down, here's another confession. Deep down, I have a dream of being a break dancer. Deep down. Deep, 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 deep. If you look at my YouTube algorithm, it's like, let's make a souffle, and then it's all these like Koreans on their heads twirling. And I thought Texan men were true men, and I was just a weirdo. But weirdos change the world. It's the outcasts and rebels and misfits who disrupt the status quo. Think about the disruptors, past and present, male, female, rich, poor, all ethnicities. They're all a little weird. Edison, I think that dude was an absolute weirdo. And then his contemporary Tesla, oh my goodness, uber weirdo. But dudes that changed the world. Like, I think of like Marie Curie, who like discovered radium. Like, here she is, she's just like radioactive material like Play-Doh. She's like, cool. But changed the world. My wife, she's a direct ancestor of Susan B. Anthony, who got women the right to vote in America. Woo woo. And I guarantee you, when like we talk about some of the family history, we have a family historian that she has who tells us just like she was a really religious person and like really like passionate, but she had some weird stuff going on in her life. Because it's the misfits who are the disruptors. And it's only when we take off our mask, walking in our true character and purpose, showing some courage that we're able to make a real difference. You don't have to fit in a perceived box. Whatever box you're carrying with your costumes and your masks and your agendas of trying to fit in, whatever box you're carrying, toss it. Put it in the trash, light that dumpster on fire, take a video and be like, I'm free, woohoo. Because you're not going to succeed the way God wants you to succeed. Some of you are on major burnout because you're doing all the wrong things. God made you for purpose. God made you distinct. Walk in your distinctness. You don't have to try and be someone else you're not to help Ellis County thrive. There are dreams and ideas inside of you that are unspoken and unfulfilled. And my encouragement to you is speak it, work it. Your dream might be just the thing that fills the gap that we need in Ellis County to take us to the next level. But if you're constantly wearing your mask and wearing your costume, those dreams, those ideas stay in that box with all that other junk, and they never become a reality. So bring it to fruition. You have the freedom. Be that gap filler in Ellis County. We need you with all of your uniqueness and all of your diverse ideas. So get creative, get bold, get going, and know that we're rooting for you. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite our Executive Director of Unite DFW to the stage, Rebecca Walls. So if you don't know, Unite Ellis falls under the umbrella of Unite DFW, and she actually has some really amazing information to share about a flourishing study that was done in collaboration with Harvard and Baylor. So would you give it up for Miss Rebecca Walls?
Thank you. Thanks. Hey, everybody. Do I have slides? Okay, great. There we go. So it's good to be with you today. I think some of the best people in DFW are here in Ellis County, so it's always a pleasure to come down here and be with you guys. As he said, I'm Rebecca Walls. I'm the Executive Director of Unite DFW, and I'm here to tell you about the Global Flourishing Study, and you can see on this slide, it's a big one. This is the biggest study of human well-being that's ever been done, and we're kind of in the middle of it right now. It's a 5-year study, and they're studying 200,000 participants from 22 countries. And those 200,000 participants represent 64% of the world's population. So it's a massive undertaking. You can see, as Chris mentioned, some of the partners at the bottom. So it's Harvard's Human Flourishing Project or program, Baylor University, Gallup, and the Center for Open Science. And they're about 2 years into the 5-year study, and they've released one wave of the science so far. So I'm gonna embrace my inner nerd right now and talk to you about this science a little bit. So it's not rocket science, actually. If you go to the next slide, you'll see the framework. This is how we've been describing our vision at Unite since 2016. So this framework came out of Harvard's initial work in 2016, and it's not that different from a lot of well-being frameworks where if you think of a whole person, these are the different areas of our lives that to be flourishing holistically, you have to say all these different areas are going well on the right-hand side. So happiness and life satisfaction, physical and mental health, meaning and purpose, character and virtue, and close social relationships. But the 4 things listed on the left are what they call pathways to flourishing. So these are the 4 places where we as humans can experience holistic flourishing. These are the places where we spend most of our day, where we develop relationships with people who end up caring about us and caring about our flourishing. And so as you can see, it's family, work, school, and religious community. And at Unite, our mission is really to come alongside all of you who serve in those pathways and help you bring about the most amount of flourishing to the people that you care about. So another observation about this framework is while some of us are more passionate about some of the things on the right, they're all important. And Chris actually touched on a whole bunch of stuff that I would say fall into happiness and life satisfaction. The kinds of things that you enjoy, you've got to balance that with where you're earning your living and where you're finding your meaning and purpose, otherwise you burn out. So if we go to the next slide, I'm gonna give you guys 3 minutes to actually take what is called a flourishing assessment. This QR code, if you take a picture of that or at least pull out your camera and scan the QR code, it's gonna ask you some questions and you're gonna feel like they're a little invasive because they're gonna ask you how you're really doing. But we're not sharing your answers with anybody. Really, we're gonna roll this up into a summary, which I'll share with Chris and Anna and they can send it out to you. But I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. I'll stop talking for a minute and I'll come back up here in a couple minutes and we'll talk about it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pull us back together for just a few minutes. You can finish later if you haven't finished. But I hope you see that that's a tool that we can use to kind of understand how this really feels, to evaluate our own flourishing. And it's something that we can use to find out how the people that we care about are doing as a whole, really so that we can figure out how to move forward together, because we want everyone in Ellis County to be flourishing. And if we're all kind of looking at this kind of thing the same way, it gives us a shared scorecard, which is exciting. And we have that for all of DFW. In fact, the next slide shows a graph of kind of the summary of results that we got when we did this with a group in DFW a couple weeks ago. These bars represent their average score in each of the 6 domains. So again, happiness and life satisfaction, physical and mental health, meaning and purpose, character and virtue, close social relationships, and material and financial stability. So their average across all the domains was 7.8. The average for a human across the globe, an adult, is 7.45. So overall, leaders in DFW are doing better than the average human, which is great. I'll be excited to see how y'all compare to this group, and you can do that for your people as well. So the next slide shows that there's a gap between younger adults and older adults, that younger adults actually are not doing as well globally as people that are older, which is a concern because it used to be kind of a U shape where young people were doing better and then there would be a dip when life was just really hard. You were kind of grinding it out. And then older adults they're wiser. They don't have as much worry on their plate, so they were doing better. But now there's a gap. And particularly you can see that the US sees the biggest gap between that. So the question for you guys is, how are your people doing? If you're a leader, that could be the people in your organization or the people in your community. But the next slide has another QR code on it. If you would like to use the flourishing assessment to find out how your people are doing, we want to offer you that opportunity. So the data you collect will go into the pool of DFW data, and we'll be able to compare to see how people in one community are doing compared to another, one sector compared to another. I'm just really excited about the power this is going to give us. But most of all, I'm excited because it gives us a framework to really think about how we're loving one another. If you say you love somebody, I think that means you care about their flourishing. So I hope that you'll leave today just kind of thinking about what that looks like, and that you'll feel more empowered even to love the people that are in your life right now. So thank you guys. Thank you for all you do, and we're cheering for you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Up here, I want to introduce our lovely Caitlin Scheitler.
Hi, everyone.
She became our full-time care coordinator, care champion back in June, and she's an absolute rock star. She's doing an incredible job. She was our intern from Nelson back in the spring, and then she's just like, hey, Chris, I'm graduating with my bachelor's, like, I need a job. I'm just like, okay. And so we figured it out, and we love having her. We're gonna talk a little bit about, in this segment, resource coordination. And this is a segment you really wanna take good notes. We have some QR codes, because we have some changes, some updates, and ways for you guys to get engaged. So let's start off with Care Portal. Where's Raymond? Yeah, we love Raymond. He is absolutely incredible. He is such a great partner. We have a lot of the stats that we're going to go over with Care Portal have been as a direct result of our partnership. Every time we need him, he's just been, if he doesn't answer the phone, he's calling back within the same day. He's always quick to respond. He's competent. He's just a great person to work with. In case you don't know, he also is an MC. So one of these days, if you need an event that you need an MC at, go talk to Raymond. He's got a great voice. Just want to plug that real quick. But with having a care coordinator as well, also helps us with some of these stats. I'm going to be talking specifically about 2023 stats versus 24 stats, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about where we've been year to date in 25. So our 23 stats, this is when Red Oak ISD came online. Give it up for Red Oak. So basically, if you are not familiar with Care Portal, very high level, it is a platform tool used by requesting agencies to help keep children in their home in the foster system. That was what was its original purpose. But it is a tool we use. The only prerequisite is it a crisis situation, and is there a minor in the home? And so we decided that we wanted every school district to come online and become a requesting agency, and we're always in a direct path of funding for that. We started off in 2023, once our big school district came online, 7 requesting agencies, 36 responding. We met 49 requests, and we had a 69% completion rate. Their standard of like, hey, your guys are doing well is 75%. So we're like, we can at least do 75%. Like, we can definitely do better than that. We didn't have a metric for how the length of days a request was open, but in 23 we gave over $66,000 of economic impact. That's dollars and items given, so that could be a bed or a crib or whatnot. And 514 children were served. Give it up for you guys. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And then we decided, oh my goodness, we gotta get to 75%. So we put Care Portal out to everybody in the county. All right, so if you've been at any of our network meetings, which if you go to uniteellis.org/about, you can find all of our meeting times and locations, whether it's geographic or you want to get involved in mental health, military, or housing. I highly encourage you guys to join one of our network teams, but we're constantly blasting Care Portal. So let's look at how we improved in 24. All right, we still had 7 requesting agencies, but we moved up to 41 responders, 168 requests met, and we shot up because we're overachievers to 85%. Average days a request was open was 5, and $112,000 of economic impact is amazing to me, but almost doubled the amount of children served. Give yourselves another round of applause. Because a lot of it is you guys responding to these requests. All right, so a couple of notables for 2025. So we have, number 1, 4 new school districts have become requesting agencies just this year. So that's awesome. Number 2, we'll wait for my slide guy. 100% request completion just last month. So in August, all requests 100% filled. Number 3, 88% for the year as a whole. And number 4, we have already made over $62,000 of economic impact, and it's only September. We do a lot of giving around the holidays. In fact, I want to give a really quick Care Portal update regarding that. You guys heard the term angel trees? Angel trees, so you'll see some angel tree requests in Care Portal during the holidays, and I ask that you guys look out for those because those are specifically children from incarcerated homes. So we want to make sure, I think we'll have about 40 of those requests, and so we want to make sure that during the holiday season coming up, you keep an eye out for those because I want Ellis County to we're gonna knock those out, baby. I'm telling you. If y'all don't do it, I'm gonna be like, listen, we gotta do this. I'm competitive, y'all. I told you, if I have a goal, I'm just I'll do anything I can to achieve it. So if it's not y'all, then my wife is gonna be like, Chris, why are we poor right now? So in terms of Care Portal, I do wanna shoot it off to Caitlin because these specific stats, especially our 100% request completion rate, is a lot to do with her, who's implementing a lot of the processes we have to make sure that requests don't stay in the system for too long. So she has 2 quick stories.
Yeah, so part of my role as care coordinator, care champion, we're still figuring that piece out, is kind of being on top of these requests and making sure they're getting fulfilled. And so you've probably gotten an email from me or maybe a call, and you're probably like, who's this annoying girl who won't leave me alone? But that's because these requests really do mean a lot to me. I hadn't been involved with Care Portal until I got with Unite Ellis, but now I start my morning every day. I'm on the portal looking at requests, seeing, okay, who can I help today? And who can I get to partner with us to help? Because really, we couldn't do any of this without you guys. And so I'm so grateful for you, whether you're a church requesting agency or a business who's helping fund. We are very grateful. But there was one story in particular that I really wanted to highlight because this was just like a high of my 6-month-long career. But a couple weeks ago, we had a request, and it was a rental assistance. And if you're in this world, you know rental assistance is almost impossible to get. And that 1 month can change the trajectory for someone's really entire life, but at least their immediate circumstance. And so we had a request. It was a rental assistance. And at first, I was just like, okay, it's probably going to not get fulfilled, and we'll take the punch. It's fine. Stuff happens. Well, we started to get a couple of funders get the request to halfway there. And at that point, my competitive nature kicked in, and I was like, okay, we're not letting this sit now. If we already have people who are giving, and we harp over and over again that you don't have to fund the whole request. Unite Ellis's thing is collaboration, and so we want you to collaborate even when it comes to funding. And so we already had like 3 different funders, and then I was able to take it to our housing and homelessness group. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there, see what happens. If there's anyone who can get this funded, if there's anyone who can get this figured out, it's gonna be these guys. And I mean, I give all the credit to the Lord, but we had 8 different funders or agencies who gave to this request, but it was over like $1,600 that got funded. And that is one family who gets a second chance now. And that was just, I think, yeah, let's give it. But I want to say thank you because a lot of you are in this room who helped. And just know that a family is changed and they have a better life because of that. And that's just one example of Care Portal, really.
Absolutely. And, you know, some of you may be asking, like, how do I get involved in Care Portal? Well, if you scan this QR code, you can sign up as an individual, you can sign up as a church, or you can sign up as a community partner, whether that's a business, nonprofit, etc. And so what happens is, like, when you sign up, you're just agreeing to receive an email. And so what that email will say is say to the effect of, you know, said family is experiencing, you know, an electricity bill that needs to be paid. And so you can say, yes, I will fund that request. You can fund partial request. You can make a comment, ask questions. You can just commit to pray about it. The cool thing is there's a lot of times with Care Portal, like, our goal is to make the church the hero of the story, because what happens is, like, it's not just funding the request. It's not just meeting the item. It's making that relational connection afterward. So someone needs a crib, and maybe a bank says, hey, we want to fund a crib, but we have a church that's like, okay, well, we're going to pick up that crib and deliver it. And now that family has a relational connection point. Because the other thing that we harp on is, how do we overcome relational poverty? Because that's the thing that starts. If we can overcome that piece, then we can help people on a pathway to thriving and break the cycle of financial poverty. And so if you are a church in the building or represent a church, please talk to me. I would love to have a further conversation with you, how to get you plugged in. There's no financial commitment for anybody that's a responding partner, whether you're individual, church, or community partner, but we want to make sure everybody's as involved as possible. Another cool thing about Care Portal is, you know, you can engage at the level that your church or organization can engage at. Like, you don't have to have, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars of fluid money in your budgets to be a part of Care Portal. You know, let's say you had $50 to give to Compassion Ministry, and that $50 goes a long way to help somebody. Or if you're just like, you know what, we want to be the person that makes that relational investment, and we'll just accept all those funded requests. That's needed too. Any way that you want to get involved, we want to get you involved. So reach out to me, reach out to Caitlin, reach out to Raymond back there. Wave your hand again, Raymond. He would love to have a conversation with you as well. So sign up today. So next, Raymond's just like, I am clapping for myself. So the last couple of county convenes, we've been talking about and floating around the idea of our Get Help, Give Help campaign. And drum roll, please, we are officially launching it today. So all the pieces have fallen into place. If you go to our website, uniteellis.org, you'll see lots of updates to the website. We have a Get Help page and a Give Help page. So let me first start by talking about Give Help. Give Help. So Give Help, you can scan this and it'll take you to our Give Help page. And on that page, you'll have an opportunity to see VOMO opportunities. So VOMO is a website that we use along with Unite DFW to where you as an organization can send us your volunteer requests and we can make a profile for you. And so let's say you have, you know, Pastor Fred over there, they're doing a warming station for the winter at Central Press here in Waxahachie, and they need volunteers. Well, email me the information. We'll set up a profile for you in Vomo. So when you click that link, they'll be like, okay, here's Central Press, here's the warming center, here's the volunteer information, here's who to contact to get involved. All right, so if you have any volunteer opportunities, let us know about them. There's a link to view volunteer requests on how you can give help as a volunteer. There's also a link, if you click the link of like, I'd like to submit a listing, that will go directly to us and make sure that you give us all the pertinent details, such as, the age of your volunteers. Some volunteers need to be at least 18. What are some of the specifications? Do you have specific skills? Like Christian Women's or Christian Men's Job Corps, they have very specific skills that they be looking for. So we need some of that information. Any volunteer stuff that you have, send them to us. Let us create a profile for you. And that's going to be our Give Help campaign. And so that will go, you'll see a lot of it online. We'll be pushing that out, putting some dollars behind it, and getting people in Ellis County more engaged in their community. Wherever you're at, like if you're like, Chris, I'm tapped out, I'm burned out, absolutely, totally understandable. But if you're one of those people just like, I want to get more involved in my community, this is the way to do it. So send us your listings, reviews. There's a lot of listings there already. She's going to talk about one of those listings here in a moment. The other way that you can give help is via donations. So tomorrow is North Texas Giving Day. I'd be remiss not to say that you can give online to Unite Ellis. We've updated our giving platform on our website. So we were using Give Butter. We are currently using Zephy. And the benefit of using Zephy is you can circumvent processing fees. And so if you want to just give $20, you don't have to give $20 plus processing fee. You can just give $20. And so that's the benefit of using Zephy. So at any time, you can be a monthly partner, you can give one-time donation, but we have tons of ways that we're doing business in the county and helping Ellis County thrive, and your dollars do make a difference. So moving on to our Get Help portion of our campaign, we have partnered with a national organization to essentially give us the tools we need to make resource coordination in our county efficient and effective. What does that mean? So you have an individual that goes off and they go to Manor House, and Manor House has a very specific set of services that they offer. Well, maybe the person that goes into Manor House they need more than what Manor House can provide. And so they can go to our website here at the link, powered by Help Finder. This national organization has shown us how to optimize Help Finder for Ellis County. And then she's going to talk about how you can get involved. We've never really had volunteer opportunities for Unite Ellis ongoingly, but now we will, because she's going to talk about resource coordinators and how we now have access to a back end of Help Finder called Find Help that will give us even more optimized tools, especially for you as organizations that are working in the nonprofit space. So I'll punt it over to Caitlin, and she'll tell you a little bit more about the resource coordinator side.
So I'm going to start with a preface. I'm very excited about this. My title is Care Coordinator, and this is kind of why I got brought on. And so us launching this might make me ramble just a little bit. So just zone in, be like, Caitlin, you got to stop. But just to break down resource coordination, it sounds all lofty, but it's not. We're looking for just a team of dedicated volunteers who really want to make a difference in people's lives. And I mean, there's volunteer opportunities constantly. We know that. I mean, Vomo is filled. I get those requests, I put them in, and I love them. But this is something a little bit more hands-on, so that individuals who really want to make a connection, who really want to have a direct impact in someone who's looking for help in their life, they have that opportunity. So resource coordination, it's resource navigation. Because of Find Help and its optimization, and because of the platform, we have the opportunity to navigate resources so that when someone's looking for help and they're looking for something like whether it's housing, whether it's food, whether it's those immediate needs, or it's mental health care and hygiene, and it's something that can wait just a little bit longer, we have the ability to kind of point them in the right direction, because everyone can make a Google search, but Google's not going to pull up everything. And when you're in crisis, you're not thinking straight. And when you're in crisis, a lot of these people are doing it alone. So we don't want to make just another call center. We want to be relational. We want to not just be a friendly voice or a friendly face, but someone who will really walk along. And so that's why we need dedicated volunteers who can serve. It can be any amount of time as long as you're being consistent, because consistency is where we're going to see a real difference made. And so I'm really excited to launch this, and something that I'm really excited about that you'll get is we have our Give Help, Get Help cards. So everyone should receive one or more cards. And this is a tangible resource that you can hand to people. So part of this is the resource coordinators, and that's the position. And then part of it is, like we said, we have Find Help as a resource database that I have spent months constantly updating, constantly trying to get all of the information from you guys into this database. Because I know all of you organizations, you have your Excel sheet, and every couple of years you're like, oh crap, that's gonna be a task. We should probably go through that. And then it never really gets done because you don't have time for that. Well, I got hired to do that, so I have time for that. And so if you go to one of these QR codes, it is a direct line to Get Help. And if someone wants to navigate resources on their own, they can feel free to do that. They'll find the Find Help site. But if they want to call the number that we have at the front, the 888 number, that is how they can get in contact with a resource coordinator who will help them navigate, help them brainstorm ideas, and just be someone to talk to so that they don't feel alone. And so this helps individuals looking for help, but it also helps our organizations and our helping organizations in Ellis County, because that way you can do what you are made best to do, and it'll free up a little bit of your time. So you can send them over to us. We'll gladly take them. I am so excited to finally get to talk to people and have volunteers. But yeah, did I miss anything?
No, you did awesome. Give it up for Caitlin. This is her first time publicly presenting for us. Doing a great job. Just a couple more details. So if you go to unitellis.org/events, you'll see a resource coordination training there. And basically that's going to be October 9th from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Red Oak Chamber. Where my Red Oak Chamber at? Yeah, Sandy's back there. They're such an amazing partner, and they're going to be providing a space. We'll be providing free lunch. I was always told if you feed them, they will come.
Chris is cooking.
Yes, I
and
will
if that
be
means
cooking.
anything to you, you gotta go.
I will think about cooking. But yeah, so if any of that resonated with you and you want to be a resource coordinator, absolutely sign up for that training if you're available. And a follow-up email that we'll send out tomorrow with all the details about County Convene, we'll also be sending out an interest form. And so you can fill out, maybe you're like interested in this program, but you really can't commit right now. We can send you more information at a later date. So look for more information in our follow-up email. Thank you so much, Caitlin. I'll take the microphone. At this time, and we'll kind of blow through the rest of this pretty quickly, but I want to do a team highlight for the military community team. If you guys go to those meetings, just give me a little bit of noise. Come on, people. Yeah, you're out there. Come on. All right, maybe you guys are in the bathroom or something. All right, but essentially the military community team has put in a lot of hard work. They started June of 24 as a monthly team within the Unite Ellis network, and we realized very quickly that there was more veteran organizations than we realized. And so we meet monthly, we've done a few events, and I'm gonna pass it off to Sean, who is, we're starting to call him Solution because he's all about the solutions. Just today, we came up with that nickname, yep. But he's one of our military community champions, doing a phenomenal job. He's gonna tell us a little bit about a survey for Ellis County veterans and military connected needs.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? I'm new to this kind of thing, so I'm not a public speaker. But anyway, around the room, first of all, I'm blessed to be part of the military community team. I'm grateful to Chris and Anna for setting it up and allowing us to do this thing. Underserved community, I believe, in Ellis County, and we need to get help to them as fast as we can. Around the room, you'll see QR codes. We're all technical folks now, so if you don't know how to use it, I'm not trying to offend anyone. Just scan it with your phone. If you need to talk to us about it, we can give you emails to get contact with that as well. Like Chris was saying, there's no shortage of resources in Ellis County, but our surveys, what we're trying to do is figure out exactly what the services the veterans in our community need. There's a lot of data on active duty and reservists in our community, but there's not a lot of data on veterans and retirees like myself. I served for 25 years in the United States Marine Corps. I got out, and I really I wasn't participating in things like the VFW and those kind of things, so I just started working again. So what we're trying to do with the survey is figure out where those people are and what they need, so that we can help resource providers provide those resources to them. If you would, please take a picture of our survey. If it's not just for the veterans, it's for veterans connected people as well. So as you have the spouses, family members that need to get that information as well. We have 2 surveys. They'll be able to go in there, whether it's a veteran or a connected member. Let's see, what did I miss? Please do not provide ask anyone that takes the survey, do not provide any personal data at all. We want this survey to be anonymous. If we find that data, we're going to have to delete that survey entry. So please don't do that. I'd like to personally thank United Ellis for assistance on this matter. It's something that me and Brent talk about it all the time. It's near and dear to us because I'm a success story. I'm standing here. There's a lot of guys that are out there that are not. They're living in boxes. They're living in cars. They're in different situations. So I'm just trying to give back, and I'm grateful to United Ellis for helping us do that. Thank you very much.
One of the things that we talk about in the military community team a lot is the reality of really all of us. It's the idea of finding your purpose. In fact, like how many times people are serving and then they get back to civilian life, and without a purpose, it's very hard for them to acclimate. And that goes for all of us. How do we find your purpose? And so with this data, we can help people get connected to those avenues and pathways to help them find their purpose and create programs and initiatives that are specific to real needs and not just perceived needs. So I appreciate Sean and the work he's doing there. At this time, we're gonna show a video. I'm gonna invite Bobby Parks and Anna to the stage, who are gonna share a little bit about the videos. So watch this real quick, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Sharon Varigan, and I attended Thrive. It meant so much to me to get together in a room and share our thoughts, get to grow, and learn more about each other. We learned about leadership in such a way where we could answer questions, hear each other's thoughts, and grow week by week. We got to write down our answers and really dig deep. It was really meaningful, learning more and more about each other. Sometimes the thoughts, the questions, the answers were really soul-searching, but it was good, really good. Glad I went, glad I did it. Glad I took the time out of my busy schedule to get to really know these other ladies and get to grow.
Hi, I'm Norma Belcher, Executive Director of Manor House. My experience from the Thrive Leadership Growth Group is one that I will have embedded in my heart and mind for a long time. This group actually was just something that my leadership skills needed. We were able to get together every 2 weeks. We went through the curriculum and we learned so much from each other. I was in a group full of leaders from all sectors, business, nonprofits, and we just leaned on each other and were able to understand one another when it came to leadership situations or scenarios that we questioned ourselves on. But with this, we were able to grow, we were able to learn and know that we're not in these leadership roles alone. We were able to thrive together, and in conclusion, I made some great friends along the way.
Hi, my name is Brittany McCleary. I'm the owner of Assisting Hands Home Care. I loved being a part of the Thrive growth groups. Before I was in a leadership position, my skill set was in managing 6-year-olds, so I felt very under-equipped to run a business, so I was so excited to take part. It helped me both educationally as far as like just pulling in very valuable tools, and professionally I was able to connect with people in the community.
So yes, y'all can clap for those 3 ladies. So we're almost done. I want to touch on a couple of things around Thrive. And this last spring, our Thrive Leadership Conference was the first conference that we pushed out. And several of us were sitting around saying, hey, we love the idea. We want to equip and empower the leaders in our county. The more all of us are doing, the more we're sharpened as leaders in our county, it's a direct impact on the people that are here, right? So if you're doing well, the people we're meeting with, our teams, all those that we serve, that's a ripple effect. So that's one of the reasons why Thrive Leadership Conference came about. But then we were left with, what are we doing the rest of the year? What do we do between Thrive, County Convene, all the events that we're running into each other at the same time? So a year ago, we piloted, and Bobby's going to talk more about this, but that's when we piloted Thrive growth teams. And this is our way to say, hey, this is how we're connecting as leaders. This is how we're being equipped throughout the year. And for me personally, and he'll go through more of this, but me personally, when we were part of the team that kind of piloted this was like, the way I would describe it is like a small group of leaders that I could sit and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through. What's y'all's recommendation? There's a curriculum that helps keep us on track for especially groups like us who get way off topic. But then we're able to share like our leader struggles. Maybe it's our employees, maybe it's, a family situation, whatever it is. It was our way to keep each other sharpened throughout the year. We'd text, hey, be praying for this. If it's a faith group, some can be, you don't have to be. But we'd be like, this is what I have going on in my life. What do y'all think? So Bobby's going to explain more. This is Bobby Parks. Let's give Bobby a shout out. We're excited.
Thanks, Anna.
He normally has his kicks on, his Nike kicks, but
I was
not
going to
today.
be true to myself today and not. Yeah.
Bobby is with JH Reach and the John Houston family of companies. He is one of my go-tos in the world of business and empowering people through the worlds of businesses and our entrepreneurialism. And he's our go-to. So he's going to talk more about our Thrive growth teams.
Thanks, Anna. Hey, can I just say, this is awesome. This is amazing. This is such an incredible group of leaders in our community. We're talking about human flourishing, and you guys care. You care to see communities flourish, individuals flourish. As we're talking about Care Portal, we're talking about meeting needs, and we need to do it together. But we also want to say to all of you, we know you're tired. We know that you have a lot of burdens that you carry, a lot of things that you're passionate about, you care about. And why we started Grow Teams, like Anna said, is to lift up the arms of leaders in our community. We can talk a lot about values, and we need to have good values. We need to have good values on not just on our walls or the plaques that we give out. We need to live by them and walk by them. But the number one thing that shapes healthy organizations and healthy communities is not just the values on the wall, it's the values that are lived out, because the number one thing that shapes healthy communities and orgs is healthy leaders. And we want to invest back in you guys as leaders. We know what you carry is important. We believe in it. We want to invest in you. So Anna hinted at Stephen Covey's quote there. If you've read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, we need to continue to sharpen the saw. You guys are incredible leaders, but all of us can agree sometimes, I need the saw sharpened. I need to continue to grow in my leadership. Craig Rochelle says it this way: when the leader gets better, everyone gets better, and you can't do it alone. All of you we got a picture of a mountain there in the background, and you guys know, today that we're living in, we need healthy leaders. We need models and mentors in our community that know how to lead the way, that are healthy themselves, that can show people a different way to flourish, a different way to communicate, a different way to lead. But as the challenge elevates and the mountains that we need to climb, so for the need of teamwork escalates. And growth teams were created for that, to say, hey, leader, you don't have to do it alone. You can grow together in community. That's what Anna and I, Chris, several others, even here in this room, have been doing for one another. Man, we believe in what we're doing, but we need others on the journey to encourage us, sharpen us. So we've got great values. We've got great leadership competencies that we go through, but really the best value is in us being able to encourage one another, share with one another along the way. So if you guys want to get involved in a growth team, if you're saying, hey, I want to sign up for myself individually, or maybe you're saying, I want to take this to my organization. Hey, I want to take a group of leaders in our company, in our business, in our nonprofit. You can do that by signing up there, scan that QR code, or just go to uniteellis.org/growth teams. I'll tell you really quick, we've got 2 seasons. You heard in the video, we've already have some that have gone through it here. Season 1, you can see on that next slide there. These are some of the topics that you guys will go through together in that cohort style, developing and strengthening your core values, leading through disciplines. The hardest person to lead is sometimes ourselves, right? So we'll go through that, developing a strong vision and mission, driving results, leading with humility. Come on, somebody, we need some more of that these days. And then season 2, if you've already gone through season 1, this is the next round that we'll be offering that goes even deeper into the type of leader that you are. And again, being able to process it with other leaders that are in the fire with you, climbing the mountain with you. Don't do life and leadership alone. We're better when we grow together. Thanks, Anna.
That's good. So we really want to encourage y'all to do this. Like Bobby said, you could do it within your already existing teams, correct? Mm-hmm. Or you can, some specifically, and sometimes there's purpose to this, hey, put me in a group where I don't know anybody. Put me in a group where I'm with other leaders. We've even, if we get enough groups, we've even talked about breaking it down by leader level. Like if, depending on where you're at within your organization, are you supervising teams? Do you have entry-level workers? Whatever it is, there's a whole way that we assemble those teams. So we highly recommend all of that. Are you getting in the details of signing up?
If you scan that QR code, and we can go back to that first slide there, you'll see on that page, it breaks it down. If you want to take it to a group, all the different ways to do that. If you want to just sign up as an individual, you can. There is a small cost of $50 per individual to go through it. We'll also say, don't let that be an issue to stop you. If you need some help, let us know. But it basically breaks down to like $10 per session. It's a way to just cover the cost of all the learning management systems behind the scenes to provide for that. But we're going to work with nonprofits, businesses, and individuals. Sign up to get started. We're going to kick it off here in a few weeks. So sign up now or let us know if you're interested so that we know how many people are signing up so we can group you guys out in a good time.
Yeah, and just as we're going forward, our seasons, how we're breaking it up is Convene to Thrive Conference to Convene. So we basically are hoping to push out 2 seasons a year. So we'll kick off this season now into basically up until Thrive Conference, and then at Thrive we'll do another push and have another, hopefully more groups coming. So thank you, Bobby, I appreciate that. Now, speaking of Thrive, so excited. Let's play the video I've been waiting to see. I haven't even seen it yet. Let's play the Thrive video.
Oh my
So
goodness.
pumped.
Yeah, so registration is open today. We have early bird pricing until the end of December. You can click that middle QR code to get your tickets, or you can click the right one if you want to be a sponsor. We have some amazing sponsorship opportunities and details at that link.
We are so pumped, y'all. If y'all came to Thrive this last year, I mean, it just ended up being probably better than expected. Again, because of those of you, the people here in Ellis County, I mean, y'all are just so amazing to show up. But this is our way to strengthen, this is our way to equip. And if you noticed with the theme from Casey running, has anyone else almost hit Casey on the road like I have? He is a runner and he will run on the busiest streets. And every time I'm like, Casey, get out of the way. But he literally runs. But on this date, February 6, 2026, it is the opening of Winter Olympics. So I'm personally going to look for a bobsled outfit. I don't know what that is.
I'll be singing the song, you know, hey, all you people, you really can't believe Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. Yeah, I'll be singing the song that day. If you've not seen Cool Runnings, you are missing out on the greatest movie of the 90s.
Yeah, that's good. But we're excited, and we are going to be focusing on carrying the torch in multiple ways around the Winter Olympics theme.
Yep. We even have one of our keynote is already nailed down. His name is Johnny Quinn Jr. He is an actual Winter Olympian, so he'll be speaking at Thrive. We're still nailing down some of our speakers, but early bird pricing is available right now. Get your tickets, get your teams there. We don't have anything like this in Ellis County, and so usually you have to go to Fort Worth or the amazing people in Dallas County. But to have something like this in our own backyard is pretty incredible. So sign up today. It's going to be incredible. I do. Okay. And so I have 2 giveaways. Real quick, if you go to the next slide, we would love for you guys to engage with us online on our Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube. We actually interview many of you guys, leaders of Ellis County, on a monthly basis. We just had Alan, the recovery pastor from the Avenue Church. And then next month, I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek. Jennifer Salzman from the Heights, we'll be interviewing her for October. So each month we have a theme and a guest that can speak into that theme. So we're really excited. We've interviewed a couple of you already, but our goal is to longevity, interview all these amazing leaders in Ellis County. And so if you see us shoulder tap you, just say yes. It's just going to be an amazing time. Kevin got to talk about Hope Health here a couple of months ago. So follow us online. But like Anna said, we do have a couple of giveaways. So if you want to be like Anna and drink a 40 of your own, all right? Water. So if you want to hold that one, and you can create your own criteria for the giveaway, and I'll create my criteria for the giveaway. How about that?
Okay. On the spot thinking.
Yeah, I'll do first. So, all right, if you're a leader that brought somebody with you today, raise your hand. Okay. Okay, keep your hands raised. You're a leader that brought somebody, you brought a guest, and you're like, I need them to be here. All right, who brought more than one guest? Keep your hand up. 3. Can anybody beat 3? How many? Awesome, Gerdow, come on down.
Way to go. Now you have to share this with all those people, same straw and everything.
This is a community mug. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay, let's go with who has the closest birthday. Today is September 17th. Anybody have a birthday within the week? What's yours? Can you make that? All right, happy birthday. Come on up. Very good. Very good.
Awesome.
Okay, guys, that is it. Network, be awesome, be encouraged, be equipped. Thank you for coming.